In today's video, I am going to be getting through my physical TBR. Like, I can't get it out of my head. I don't want to, like, go off. Who even are you?
Why didn't you just do this when he felt ugly?
I did buy another one yesterday. Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be getting through my physical TBR. As you can tell right behind me, I have a huge bookshelf filled with books that I have read and also filled with books that I have not read. Recently, for my birthday, I did the Barnes & Noble book challenge and I got over 10 books. I think I might have gotten like 15 books in that challenge. And then after that, I decided that I didn't get some of the books in that challenge, so I ordered books myself on Amazon, so I got 5 more. I got a total of 20 books for my birthday, and on top of that, I still had books on my shelf that were on my physical TBR already. First step for this video is counting the amount of books I have on my physical TBR. So let's go and do that. 33. I have 33 physical books on my shelf that I have not read yet. I don't know how many books I have on my shelf in total, actually. I don't think I've ever counted that. 33 books on my shelf that I have not read, so that's kind of crazy. My mom says that it's getting like a problem because my mom has a jewelry addiction where she just buys jewelry even though she already has. And she's like, your book addiction is getting to be my jewelry addiction. It's getting out of hand. And I was like, you know what? It is getting out of hand. I also set a goal at the beginning of this year to reduce my physical TBR to 10. At first I was like, this is attainable. Like, I only had 16 books on my physical TBR. I was like, I'm gonna get there. But now that I've added a couple books to my TBR, it's gonna be much harder to get there. So I decided this video is going to be focusing on physical books that I need to read and get off of my shelf. The last 2 books I read were on my Kindle, and I do have a habit of, even if I have the physical book, to read on my Kindle, which doesn't make any sense because if I bought the physical book, I should be reading the physical book. That's what this whole video is going to be. I don't know how many books I'm reading in this video. I'm starting this video in the beginning of May, and I think this video is getting posted at the end of May. So we'll see how many books I'm able to read. I'm not a very fast reader, so we'll see how this goes, but I'm actually excited because I have added a lot of books on my physical TBR that have been on my radar that I haven't had, and there's books that have been on my shelf for a very long time that I just haven't gotten around to. So we'll see if it'll be a new book I've gotten or a book that's been on my shelf for a long time. This morning, I actually did do a little bit of a clip of the first book that I'm starting for this video, so let's go on to that. Okay guys, so I did start Redeemed by Lauren Asher. This is the 4th and final book in the Dirty Air series. It is the F1, romance series. I decided to start this because this weekend, the Miami Prix is here. So I was like, you know what, why not read an F1 romance when the Miami Grand Prix is going on? So that's why I decided to read Redeemed. And also, since it's the last book in the series, it's gonna feel so accomplishing finishing this book and having a series done. I decided to start this. I started this yesterday, I think, and I'm currently on page 139, chapter 15, so about 30% through the book. So far, I have mixed feelings because 80 pages into the book, she was kissing him, and I have my reaction to that because I was so confused. Literally on page 80. I get her intentions behind it, but she did not have to do that. She could have just spoke with her words and expressed instead of just bombarding the man and kissing him. I've never been more shocked in my life. Yeah, basically why she kissed him is because he has a prosthetic leg because he got in an injury while he was racing and he doesn't like it. And he was basically kind of calling himself ugly, like he felt ugly. So then she kissed him to reassure him. Mind you, this is their second time meeting, but they never even had it wasn't a meet cute. They barely know each other. They were kind of thrown into a situation together. I recorded another clip because then something else happens where she feels the need to reassure him, and she did it in a much better way where she did not have to kiss him. You see, right now, she just kind of reassured him because they're sitting on the grass and it's hard for him to get up. So it probably looks like I'm looking this way, but it's because I'm looking at myself and I'm recording on my phone, so it's hard to look here. He can't get up, and she sees that he can't get up. Instead of kissing him,
like she did last time. Why? I don't even know why she kissed him. But then now, like, he's like, she could tell that he doesn't want to get up because it's like embarrassing. And so she's like, oh, like your nephew calls you Iron Man. She was like, Iron Man is special because he owns who he is no matter what people think of him. And then she's like, personally, I don't care if it takes you a minute or an hour to get up. All that matters is that you do. And her saying that is just like sweet. It's very sweet to hear, especially because they don't really know each other. They only knew each other for like 2 days. And, like, not even, like, weird interaction. They didn't even, like, get to know each other. They were just, like, thrown into a situation together. So her kissing him for the first time was random. But her saying this now, it's like, why didn't you just do this when he felt ugly? You didn't have to kiss him. And this shows that you didn't have to kiss him. All you have to do is use your words to reassure him. So random. That just threw me off.
Yeah, I was just thrown off by the way she kissed him 80 pages in, and then probably, like, 40 pages later, she did it in a much better way. It could just kind of threw me off, the whole situation. That's the only reason why I'm iffy about this book. That whole situation just threw me off. It's not terrible so far. I do still have, obviously, like, probably 300 pages left. This book is pretty thick. I feel like this is probably the thickest book in the series. I'm hoping there's a good reason and it's not gonna feel long because, again, this is just a cute little F1 romance book. Is there a need for it being almost 500 pages? We're gonna find out. But yeah, the whole goal for this video is getting through my physical TBR. I recently got rid of some books off of my shelf just because either one, I knew like I was never gonna read them. Two, it was a book that I read that was in a series that I was like, I'm not going to continue this series, so I'm just going to get it off of my shelf because I didn't like the book. Or simply just books that I didn't like or didn't feel the need to have on my shelf. I want to focus on physical books. I did recently, the last 2 books I read were on my Kindle. So I want to start focusing on my physical books because I don't want it to get out of hand again. I think like the last 2 years, I had like 30 books on my TBR, and that did go down. Before this whole Barnes & Noble book challenge, I had like probably less than 20 books. It was probably like at 15, which honestly for me is pretty good because obviously I'm reading books on my Kindle too. So that was pretty good to me, but now it just went straight back up. It shot up. Now I have to be focusing on my physical TBR again. It is obviously going to be a reading vlog, but a very brief reading vlog. Not too much like in detail because again, main point of this video is just getting through books that I physically have. So I wanted to tell you guys I am reading Redeemed, currently 30% through the book. I don't have a set goal of like when I want to finish the book. Again, I was just in a slump, so I don't want to like pinpoint like I need to finish this book on this day so I can start the next book. I just want to read peacefully and how I want to. I do want to get through some physical books, and I have been more in the mood to read, I will say that, so that makes me feel better. I will see you guys later. So I look a little crazy right now. It is currently 1 o'clock, so I have no excuse for looking this way. But I was going to record this clip laying down, but then I was like, wait, the last clip I recorded was literally me laying down, so let me set up. I have been reading Redeemed. In the last clip, I did tell you I was reading this book, and I have gotten 75% through the book, so I have a little over an hour left to read this book. So far, I am liking it. I like the dynamic between Santiago and Chloe. I think this book is showing what it's like to have someone motivate you in your own life, and I love the way it's showing that. Obviously, Santiago has his he doesn't have his leg. He has his prosthetic leg, and he doesn't want to do a lot because of it, and it's just like ruined his whole life basically. That's how he sees it. He just hasn't wanted to get back into racing, but because of Chloe, she's kind of motivated him and inspired him to do what he's longed for basically. In his head, he doesn't think he's missed racing until his family and Chloe convince him to go back for Noah, which is his brother-in-law. He has like his last race in Italy, so they convince him to go and at least support him, and when he's there, it all comes back to him. That's obviously nice to see. And then Chloe, this whole reason she's in Italy is to find her biological dad. She doesn't tell him anything until Santiago convinces her, like, I think it's time that you do something. And while they're pushing each other to do these things that it's hard for them to do, but they know they need to, they're also there for each other and supporting each other. And I really like that aspect of the book. However, in these books, in the Dirty Air series, some of the stuff I love the most was the F1 aspect of it, like the whole racing scene, which obviously it is harder to get in this book because the whole point is he's not racing. So that's the only thing that kind of sucks. I wish we had that aspect. I did start reading the book because I was like, oh, it's F1 weekend, I'm gonna start reading this, but we've only like just got the scenes of them in the F1 area. That's the only thing that I'm like, kind of wish we had more of. Can't do much about it. I do have 25% of the book left, so I do plan on finishing that today. It is currently Monday. I have nothing to do. So my plan is to literally finish this book today. So let's go and do that. Tell if this part was supposed to be a joke or sad. This is a little bit of a spoiler, so I would skip to the time that I'm gonna put on the screen right now. If you haven't read this book, or if you care. If you don't care, or if you've read this book, stay. Right now they're talking to the guy that Chloe thought was her dad. He's not her dad, it's his twin brother. So he says, losing a brother is hard, but losing a twin is like someone cut off my arm. And we're in Santiago's point of view, and it says, I cringe. And then he's like, sorry, that was a bad choice of words. I can't tell if we're supposed to laugh or if we're supposed to be like, that was messed up. This quote is so cute. It says, experiencing life through Chloe's eyes is a new kind of thrill. The simplest things make her happy and I find it infectious. I want to be the one to steal all her firsts and be all her lasts. Hey guys, so I think it's probably like 2 or 3 days later, but I did end up finishing Redeemed that day that I said I was gonna finish it. I just never updated, and I will explain why. First, let's debrief this book. So I think I'm gonna end up giving this book 4 stars. I actually really liked it. I loved how much the characters cared for each other. They just wanted to bring out the best in each other without even really noticing it. They just wanted to, and I loved seeing that. Again, I was disappointed that we didn't get much of the actual F1 aspect because I feel like that's what everyone, you know, went into this series for, kind of. But this one had more of an emotional depth and connection, so I did still really like it. It's probably like around the same rating as the other books. Nothing too crazy. I did enjoy it. So that is the first book done for this video. We can knock 1 book off our physical TBR. Also, the other day, I went to go put books in a little library, and the first day that I went to go do it, there weren't any books that I wanted to switch, because I went to like the little libraries where you could put a book in and swap it. But then I went the day after, I think, and I put a different book in, and all of a sudden they had so many good books in there. I only had 1 book to put in, so I was gonna take 1 back out. So I took out the book In 5 Years. That basically added a book to my physical TBR. So me reading this basically doesn't count because I got another book. So that's great. But the next book I am starting for this video is Say You Remember Me. The reason why I haven't updated in the past 3 days is because I had a plan to do a video reading for 24 hours, and I literally was gonna start it today. I was gonna start at 2 a.m. and go all the way to 2 a.m. the next day. However, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I started the challenge and everything. There's literally video clips of me starting it. I'll put it in because it's the funniest thing ever. So I started reading. I read for like 30 minutes and then I was like, actually, my head is throbbing and I don't think I could do this. So then I just stopped and I went back to sleep. So I wasn't going to include this book in this video. It was supposed to be in that video because I was gonna do a whole like reading 2025 releases for 24 hours, and then now it's just not gonna happen. So this is just gonna be for this video. So I'm gonna update you guys on what I've read so far. I'm currently like about 40% through the book. I'm on chapter 17. So far, I'm kind of confused because it doesn't feel like a good Abby Jimenez book. And I don't know if you guys know this, I've said it before. I read an Abby Jimenez book way before she became super popular. I read Life's Too Short by her, and I did not like it. And I was like, okay, never reading a book by this author again. I just didn't like it. And then she started getting popular again with like Yours Truly, Just for the Summer. So I read Just for the Summer, really liked it. Yours Truly, I really liked. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get back into her writing. So then that's why I bought this book. This is feeling like life's too short again. I don't like the insta love that's happening in this book. What happens? The girl finds this cat and takes it to the vet, and the guy's a vet. And he's really mean to her at first. Then she needs to go back because something happened with the cat. And then he apologized for being mean. And then he asked her on a date. And she's like, yeah. Literally like 20 pages in, I think. And I was like, oh, that was awfully quick. So then they go on a date, like chapter, I don't even know what. I don't know. He was basically saying like, I don't really go on dates, or when I do, he's not really interested in the girls basically, and his friends are telling him like, yeah, you're kind of grumpy. And then all of a sudden like a switch turns off for this girl, and he's like, I actually don't feel the need to be like that. But it's like why though? Like it just feels like a switch turned for him. Then she needs to fly to California to be closer to her mom, because her mom, I think that's said. Oh, that's not said. I have to reword what I just said because that's not said. She has to go back to California to basically help her family in the situation they're going through, meaning she can't see this guy anymore. Again, I'm on page 130, and he flew to California and they've only hung out once. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this book. Also, I don't like how hip, I don't want to say like cool, but I feel like she's trying to be like on trend. And I've heard people saying this, but like, not that I didn't believe it, but I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. But people were saying that there was like mentions of the main character from Akatar in this book. And I was like, okay, like that's not that bad. Like that's when authors mention TikTok. Like I could deal with it kind of. Like it's annoying, but whatever. She's mentioned it like 5 times. Like, but why? But why though? Not to hate, I don't want to like go off, but like how are you writing and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna mention this not once, but like 4 more times. Like I don't get it. I feel like it's to relate to the audience, but like that's not what we want. And then there was a point where like her brother said like mid. They were talking about her cat, and he's looking at the cat and he goes mid, and then she was like, did you just say mid, or like whatever. Oh, when authors try to bring like real world like slang and like trends into their books, it makes me cringe, because it's like we're reading to escape. We want it to feel real, but not too real. Not that side of real. I've thought about DNFing this book, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna stick it through. It's not a long book. Actually, for a hardback, it's not that long. Like I said, I'm almost halfway through the book. Might as well just try to finish it. I think I want to try and finish it today, actually. My Kindle, for some reason, says I could finish it in like 3 hours, which is honestly not that long. Hopefully, I'll finish this today and be able to give you my final thoughts. Maybe like halfway through, there's gonna be a switch where all of a sudden I'm gonna enjoy it more. Unlikely, but we never know. We never know. So I'm gonna continue reading. I will update you guys probably when I have updates or when I'm done with this book. Maybe it's because I'm being too picky about it now. I forgot to say this. I feel like the author's trying to throw in a lot of like those micro tropes in there. I can't name any right now. I did just come across one thing, and they're at like a diner, and where in his point of view it says, she poured creamer into her coffee. She likes the blue vanilla ones. I made a mental note. I don't know if it's because I'm already not feeling the book, but I feel like that was just put in there to be like, oh, he's so thoughtful and observant. Because I feel like in other books, it just happens where he just like remembers. Like it happens in like the girl's point of view. I don't know. I feel like I also feel like this because of all the microtropes that I've seen in the book, that I'm already like, is this like supposed to be cute, or is it just another like microtrope that was just thrown in there? So I don't know if I'm being too hard on the book now. I'm gonna continue. Okay guys, I've taken a few breaks reading this book. That's why I have not finished it yet. If I was locked in, I would have finished it already, but I'm just like not as engaged as I would like to be reading this book, so it is taking me a little bit longer. But I came in here just to add on to what I was saying before, because I've found more examples, and this whole book feels like a reach out to the audience, like please let me be involved in like Gen Z community, and please find me funny and relatable. I'm sorry, that's what it feels like. Basically, a video just went viral of the guy because he like saved a pug, whatever, he's a vet, and now like it's talking about all the comments, and all the comments are like, it's almost like she went to TikTok, looked at comments, and we're like, okay, these are most commented, like I'm gonna write about them. One of them is a teardrop just ran down my thigh. That's one of the most used TikTok comments, and honestly, like I found a lot of these funny. How many times did I watch the end? Question mark. Yes. And it's like, why am I jealous of an unconscious pug? BRB, locking myself in a hot car. Like it's a bunch of comments which honestly I did laugh at. okay? I did laugh at, but it's because when I see those comments on TikTok, like, it's genuinely funny. But seeing it in a book, I'm like, why? Literally, why? And then randomly, promise you, at the end of this chapter, she goes, Xavier, and he goes, and she goes, would you still want me if I was a worm? And that was like a whole TikTok trend, like asking your boyfriend if he'd still love you, like still want you if you were a worm. And it's just like out of nowhere, she asked this. These are the conversations you guys are having, and then you want me to believe that you guys are falling in love with each other? I'm just not here for it. Honestly, I do feel like DNFing it, so honest, but I think I'm continuing it just because it's like a new release. I have the physical copy, and I'm like, I just need to finish this book just to satisfy myself. And I do only have like an hour and a half left of the book, so I'm like, might as well just finish it. Who knows, maybe I'll come back for more updates, but we'll see how the rest of this reading goes. Something happened in this book that actually just shocked me. Like, I actually audibly gasped. I didn't think I'd care so much about something. So let's see where this goes. Hey guys, so it is the next day, I think, from the last time I spoke to you guys. And I did finish Say You'll Remember Me. Honestly, a relief. Didn't love this book. I think I'm gonna end up giving it like 3 stars because there were some parts of this book that I really did like. I loved how committed the characters were to seeing each other, like doing the long distance, because it was very realistic. Like in some books they would do long distance, it's like, you guys could probably move. In this book, they so obviously couldn't move. He had his business, she had her problems with her family, and they still made the effort to see each other. They were very sweet. He was romantic. I don't know, that aspect I did like. A lot of things in this book just made me cringe, or at times like the characters just weren't super likable. After I got to the 50% mark, I was like, I think I'm ready to get through this book. It was also a lot of back and forth. There was a point in this book where I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I think he got like sick to the point where he wasn't sleeping or something because he like missed her so much. And I don't know, there was a lot of stuff happening in this book that I just didn't know what was going on. I did appreciate the long distance aspect also because me and my boyfriend did long distance for like 2 months, so that made me appreciate the book a little bit more. I don't know, just the way the characters would act sometimes, I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this book. So I am kind of happy I am done with it, so my final rating is going to be a 3 stars. So the next book I am reading, which I'm pretty sure I probably mentioned it at some point, I don't really know, but I did start Great Big Beautiful Life last night. I'm currently 25% through it, and so far I do like it. I will say we did already get a part of Margaret's story, because if you don't know, this book is about Alice and Hayden. They're both basically competing to get to write this famous person's story. It's kind of like 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, where the girl is writing Evelyn Hugo's story, like as a journalist. So we have these 2 writers that they really want to write her story, and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna give you guys both the chance, and whoever's story I like more, that's who will basically get the rights. That's what this book is about, and we already got kind of the first part of Margaret's story, which is the person they're writing about. And honestly, I was very confused. I was like, what is she talking about right now? Like, it wasn't even really about her. And I did see, like, Alice said that. She was like, I didn't expect the first thing to come out of her mouth was something that, like, wasn't really related to her. So maybe it was just that. Maybe that's what confused me. Maybe later on we'll get something more interesting. But right now, I'm not as interested in Margaret's side. But again, I am only 25% through this book, so maybe later on it will get more interesting. But I am very excited. I've heard people say that there's not a lot of romance in this book, that this is her most fiction heavy book. But I've also heard people say that Hayden in this book, he's very like subtle romance. Hopefully this is a good one. I'm really hoping, because I still haven't found a 5-star this year actually. So still searching for that, but BRB. Or actually, that's gonna be the end. Not much to say, but this is the next book I'm reading. I'll see you guys when I decide to read or have some sort of update. Hey guys, so I look a little bit crazy right now, but I'm here to give an update on Great Big Beautiful Life. I'm currently about 60-something% through the book. I already know that this is not gonna be one of my favorite Emily Henry books. It's probably gonna be at the bottom with like people we meet on vacation, book lovers, but I feel like even then, like I think I liked book lovers more than I'm liking this book, because I do still have a little bit more left, so I don't want to like judge too quickly. Maybe it could take a turn at the end. Yeah, I just haven't been like extremely motivated to continue reading this and to be picking it up. I'm just kind of reading it to read it. This is definitely giving what everyone's been saying, like women's fiction with like the side plot of romance. And I will say the part where we're getting told Margaret's story is so boring. I saw a Goodreads review and they were saying that it felt like we were getting like an ancestry story. Like all we're getting told is about Margaret's family, who she's related to, and their drama. But it's not even like good drama. It's just like, I don't know, it's like it's not interesting at all. She doesn't need a story written about her, I feel like. To me, it's just like, she's not that important, and we get told like she's very important, everyone wondering like where she is, like she's hidden. But me reading it, at least me, like I don't feel why she's so important, especially based off the story she's telling. It's like, that's why everyone's so interested in you. I don't really know. And then the romance part about this book, I don't feel it. I don't feel the romance. It is very like physical, and I see where Alice is coming from, where she's like, Hayden's misunderstood, he's this like cold character, but it's what he's been through. But I feel like even that, it's very platonic. Like I could say that about one of my friends. You know what I mean? The romance side of it, I'm just not feeling it. Again, that could maybe progress in the next like 40-ish% of the book. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling on this book so far. I am very sad about it. Also, if I remember correctly, Emily Henry books have dual point of views. Like it has the female main character and the male main character. I don't know if I'm confusing Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez, but I'm pretty sure we would get both point of views. And this book we don't. I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't really know. But those are my thoughts. I don't have any crazy thoughts because, again, I'm just reading it just to get through it. This is also a pretty thick book. It's like over 500 pages. It's a bit of a struggle. I've taken longer than usual. At least recently I've been getting into the hang of like reading again. I've been reading a lot quicker. And this is the first book in a while that I've been taking a lot longer to read. I have been a little bit busy, but also I have also had time to read this book and I just choose not to. So that goes to show what I'm feeling about this book. So it kind of sucks because I love Emily Henry, like she's one of my favorite authors, but I'm just not feeling this book. And it sucks because I'm not feeling both aspects of the book. Margaret's story is boring to me, and then the romance, I'm not connecting to it. It just sucks. I'm hoping to maybe finish this book tomorrow. I just want to get it out of my hands. Like I just don't want to read it anymore. Yeah, I also feel like I know where Margaret's story is gonna go. Not that I know where it's gonna go, because again, I'm so confused with what she's saying right now. It has nothing to do with her, all about her family. There's this one character in this book that gets mentioned 10 times, so I have a feeling like something has to do with her. Also, there's something sus that got brought up in like the last chapter, so now I'm like even more sure that she has to be important. We'll see. I just want to get through this book. I'm currently on chapter 24, but I think that's where I'm gonna stop today because I do have to get ready. But yeah, those are all my thoughts and feelings on the book. I will probably see you guys when I'm finishing this book because I probably won't have any updates for it. Okay guys, so I do not think I gave you guys a final update on Great Big Beautiful Life. I can't remember if I did or not, so I'm gonna make this very brief because I did share a lot of my thoughts on this book, and I think I'm gonna end up giving it 3 stars because, again, I just wasn't that invested in... There's people working in my house, so let's try and ignore them. I am gonna end up giving this book 3 stars. Just wasn't invested. I didn't love it, so I'm just disappointed because it's an Emily Henry book. I've loved Emily Henry's books for such a long time, and I feel like this is the first book that I just didn't enjoy. Like, bold to say, but this might be my least favorite Emily Henry book. It is bold to say because I haven't read Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation in a long time. I did reread Beach Read, and I read Happy Place and Funny Story recently. I do remember what those books are like and like how I enjoyed them, but from what I remember, I enjoyed all of her books. This one, I just found myself not wanting to pick it up, not enjoying the story, both plots in the book, the romance and Margaret's story. Yeah, I will say at the end, like the last 10% of the book, I was interested in what was going on. I did guess that one of the characters in the book was going to be important. There's another character in the book that I was shocked that they were a part of the story. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the end is when it got interesting because it started making sense for Margaret. Like, we were no longer talking about her family. I don't know, it to me it seemed like Margaret wasn't this like big like hotshot celebrity that people cared about. It was just like, who even are you, and I don't care about your story. That's how I felt. But the plot twist at the end was crazy. I wasn't expecting that. However, since I wasn't invested the whole book, I was just like, oh, that's pretty crazy, but that's about it. The romance, I don't know. Honestly, it wasn't giving slow burn though. It was giving like tension in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just broke the tension halfway through. Giving it 3 stars right in the middle. There were some things that I enjoyed about the book. I could see why people enjoy this book, just for me, it didn't hit. That's this book. The next book we're starting this video, as you guys have seen already, is Hot House Flower. I started this morning, and I'm already on chapter 7. Every time I get into this series again, I read it so quickly. It's just so easy to read about these people and the story. I don't know if maybe that's just because I love the books, but I always think it's so easy to get through them. It's making me honestly want to binge the whole series. Now that I have every single book on my shelf, I'm like, wait, right after I finish this one, I could jump into the next one. I did start this morning. This is Reich and Daisy's book, which we've gotten glimpses of them in the past like 4 books. So I'm really excited about them. I think they're gonna be my favorite. I really like Daisy. Reich, I've warmed up to him. He's like a jerk, kind of, but he's really funny. And I feel like he's gonna grow into a better person. He is a good person. Like, deep down, he is a really good person. You could tell he just doesn't know how to show it. And he doesn't know how to show it because of everything he's been through in his life. So I'm hoping in this book we get some sort of character growth for him. We do have like 5 more books left in the series, so maybe we'll see it later on. But I'm really excited about this book because we're introducing a new couple. So I'm really excited. At the end of this book, it has like an extra snippet or something. It's them in Costa Rica. Yeah, it says extended epilogue. I'm so excited because, as you know, we're entering summer, so reading about them in Costa Rica, I think that's gonna be so much fun. Another thing I love about these books, this is a very small thing, but I feel like in every book they always travel somewhere, and I love it so much. I am going to continue reading this book. I'm probably gonna get through this book so fast if I have time to read it, which I think this week I'm gonna have a lot of time to read. But every time I pick up this book, it's so hard to put it down. Like, I never want to do anything else. Gotta do that. I think I'm gonna go outside and get in the pool in a bit, so I'll probably read this by the pool today. Hi guys, so I'm here to give an update on the book I'm reading, which is Hot House Flower. Really enjoying this. Every time I read a new book in this series, it makes me believe like, yeah, this is a good series, and it just gets better and better. I feel like the last book, Kiss the Sky, it was about Rose and Connor, and that book was probably my favorite one in the series. And I can't tell if I'm enjoying this one more than that one or if I like them the same. I really can't tell because I love these 2 characters. I think they're so much fun. They're perfect for each other. They're meant to be. I do have a few things to say though. I feel like in the beginning and throughout the series, like the first like 4 books, the age gap between them is mentioned a lot, but I guess like that is the point. Like, that's why it's kind of like forbidden between them. But I feel like because it's mentioned so much at the beginning of the book, I was just so, what's the word, I just wasn't like rooting for them. Well, no, I was rooting for them. Like, I really liked them together, but I just felt a little bit weirded out because I was like, their age gap is pretty crazy. Like, he's known her since she was like 15 and he was 22, and he was attracted to her, but then he found out her age and he was like, oh, absolutely not. And now she's 18 and he's 25, so it's like, oh, it's not weird. But like, because the age difference was brought up so much, I'm like, like I can't get it out of my head. I feel a little bit better about it. Also, I do wish that in this book they didn't get together so quickly. They aren't fully together because they're still trying to like keep it a secret. I do wish that it was dragged out a little bit throughout this book. like a little bit more like tension moments, because we get the tension moments in the other books, but we're not in their point of view. So in this book, we only get like those few tension moments in like the first 25%. And then the rest of the book is just them kind of together, hiding it from the rest of them. And I'm pretty sure there's another book on them, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Because I have 6 more books to read in this series. And I assume one of them is about Daisy and Reich again. So it would make sense if this book, they had a little bit more of that tension instead of just automatically getting together. And then in like their next book, then it could be them getting together or something. I don't know. Because I feel like it was too easy. Like, you're telling me she turned 18, he didn't automatically get with her, and then all of a sudden a switch flipped and he was like, I need to get with her. But I am not mad with how this book is going. Every time I read one of these books, I want it to be a 5-star so bad, but I just never get that feeling. I am 70% through it, so I still have a bit left of the book. So who knows? Maybe it'll change in the last 30%, but I'm still really enjoying this book. It's probably gonna be like 4.5 stars because I'm loving it, and I honestly really want to binge the rest of the series. My goal is to finish the series by the end of the summer. It's just addicting. Like, every time I get into one of these books, I'm like, yeah. Like, I remember how easy it is to read and how much fun it is to read, and I don't know why I ever take breaks between the books. Because when I take breaks, I'm like, I don't really miss it, but I'm like, oh, I should probably continue that. And then when I get back into it, I'm like, how did I go on a break without reading these books back to back? Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on the book. Nothing crazy, nothing bad, nothing amazing. I'm getting through it pretty quickly again because it's so easy to read. Currently on chapter 43. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it today. I don't have much to do today, so I'll probably be able to finish it either today or tomorrow. But yeah, that's my mini update. I'll see you guys probably when I'm finishing this book. I wish I would have been recording to get my reaction. I literally just threw my head back like this and stayed there for a good minute. Chapter 63. I basically finished the book and it was so good. I still have the extended epilogue to read, and then at the end there's like bonus like text messages, so I'm probably still gonna read all that, but I basically finished the book and I'm really happy with it. It's making me want to go and read the rest of the series, but I think what happens is that I don't want to read the rest of the series back to back because I don't want it to be done so quickly. Like, I still want to be able to go back and read about these characters when I want. So yeah, at least I still have 5 more books left to read. But yeah, this one was really good. I really like these two characters and their relationship. There was also so much growth in this book. Yeah, this is probably either my favorite or it's tied with Kiss the Sky. I don't know, but I really liked it. Hey guys, so I think the last clip I recorded was me talking about Hot House Flower, I believe. Actually, no, I don't think I gave you guys an update on my final thoughts on that book, so let me go get it right now. I did finish Hot House Flower, and I'm giving this book 4.5 stars. This is by far my favorite book I've read in this video. Definitely one of my favorites that I've read in this series. It's between this one and the last book, Kiss the Sky. I love these characters, I love their story, and I can't wait to read more about them. This book was perfect. The only reason it's not 5 stars is just I didn't get that feeling, but I think the more I read the series, I think eventually maybe there'll be a 5-star, and I'm definitely gonna grow more and more attached to these characters because I already am. I have started a new book for this video already. It is not the next book, but I am already missing these characters, so after the book I'm reading right now, I'll probably jump right back into this series, who knows? The next book I started for this video, In 5 Years. This one I decided to start it because it's very short, but I've had a busy weekend, so I haven't had time to read it. I had a wedding on Saturday, I had a birthday party on Sunday, and then yesterday didn't have time to read, but today I have all the time in the world. I have nothing to do today and I want to finish it because it is so short, and I think it's like pretty easy to read. From what I've read so far, it's pretty easy. I'm on chapter 12, and basically what this book is about, it is a girl that she gets engaged to her boyfriend, and then she goes to sleep that night and she wakes up. She has a completely different ring on her finger. She's with a completely different guy, and she's basically living in the future, 5 years into the future, for just an hour. And then she goes back to sleep and she wakes back up on the same day exactly where she fell asleep, and she's like, what just happened? I'm actually kind of shocked because that only happens in one chapter. Like, I don't know why I thought we were gonna get it longer, but it's starting to make sense now, because you get the chapter where she kind of wakes up 5 years into the future. She's like, what's going on? And then she wakes back up in the next chapter. I think the chapter of that, it's like, okay, it's been 4.5 years now. So she's like kind of scared. She talked to a therapist once. The therapist was like, I don't know, can't really do anything basically. We've gone to the part where she kind of runs into this guy again, and she's like, wait, this might actually be a real thing. I probably am not going crazy. This is probably a real thing that's gonna happen. So she's trying her best to like prevent it from happening. Probably is still gonna happen, but I don't know. I'm really excited to see where the rest of the story goes. I am on page 81. There are 251 pages, so we'll see how much I read today. I definitely want to read a lot, so I'm gonna continue reading this next book. I have gotten a few books off my TBR. I don't know how much I've read in this video. I feel like I've gotten a good chunk off of my TBR. I got, what did I read first? Redeemed, and then I think I read Say You'll Remember Me, probably Great Big Beautiful Life, and then Hot House Flower, and then now this one. So this is the 5th book in this video, I believe. I don't know if this is gonna be the last one or if the next one is gonna be the last one. I'm trying to drag this video out as much as I can, like until the video is gonna go up. This is either gonna be the last book or the next book is gonna be the last book. Just letting you guys know. Yeah, my plan right now is to continue reading this book. I'm determined to sit here and finish this book. It is the next day. I never finished it. I'm currently on chapter 25, page 163. I have probably like 45 minutes left of the book, so I want to sit and finish it. It's taken me longer than I thought it would take. JK, I'm on chapter 28. I forgot I read a little this morning, so I'm actually on page 18. Wait, I'm done. I've read all of this. I'm actually on chapter 30. I don't know why I'm so like all over the place. I'm on page 193, chapter 30. Now this is for real, because I actually remember ending on chapter 30. Up finishing this book on the couch that day. My final rating for this book is going to be a 3 stars. I really enjoyed how this book ended and kind of the plot twist that like you're not expecting throughout the whole book. I really enjoyed that part, and it sets up the whole message for the book. Like it makes you realize like I should have paid attention more to like what it was actually trying to get across, I guess. But the message at the end was nice, but throughout the whole book we're not getting most of that for me to like appreciate the book. Like I appreciate the actual message, and like it was like an emotional ending. However, throughout the whole book, I feel like it should have been a little bit more centered on that. Like I know they're trying to drive us another way, make us think something else. I feel like on the side, it still should have been very prevalent, I think the word is. I don't know how to say this without giving spoilers, because this is a book that you should actually not know anything going into for you to have like the best experience. And yeah, I wasn't expecting the ending. I just wish that throughout the whole book, the message that the ending was giving to us more important throughout the whole book, if that makes any sense. I know I'm like speaking very vaguely. It's just I'm trying not to spoil it for anyone that hasn't read it. Yeah, I feel like if the message would have been clear throughout the whole book, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, because I did really like the ending, and yeah, it was an emotional ending. Just didn't bring tears to my eyes. So that's why I'm giving this book 3 stars. I can see why people would really love this book, honestly. It just didn't hit as hard for me. That is the 5th and final book we're reading for this video. I decided that was gonna be the last book because I don't want to cut it too close to when I have to upload this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing me take off books off my physical TBR. I took off 5 out of the 33 that I had. Honestly, since I had added this book, it is actually 34. So I took off 5 out of the 34 on my TBR. I did buy another one yesterday. That's gonna be the next book I'm reading. So it's not like I'm buying it and then leaving it on my shelf. I'm buying it and I'm automatically reading it. So yeah, I do want to get better at it. I think this summer is gonna be really good because I have a lot lot of books physically that I want to read in the summer, so that's a good thing. So hopefully by the end of the year, I have a lot of these books off of my physical TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you know when I post my next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!